The second half of Gossip Girl Season 1 is almost here, so let's recap what's gone down so far with these characters whom we've come to love and hate, starting with the framework. Mama Marion had a young child with Davis, Julian Elizabeth Calloway. But Marion and Nick were friends since public school, and at some point, they met up and slept together. So Marion had a second daughter, Zoya Jane Lott. Marion had lupus, and sadly, she passed away giving birth to Zoya. That is why Zoya had historically preferred to mourn her mother's death each year and celebrate her own birthday the day after. Zoya went to school in upstate New York, Buffalo, but Jules secretly reached out to her half-sister Zoya, and over 2 years of phone calls, they bonded. They even got matching tattoos. Jules did not tell her father about Zoya since he had gotten sober, and she didn't want to ruin that. Meanwhile, Zoya tagged the school's walls with her Buffalo classmates. Then, they locked Zoya in a room and mocked her for having killed her mother. Zoya was traumatized. That's when Jules decided to help her sister out. Julian's father donates money to Constance Billard, and part of that money funds the art scholarship. Jules read the applications and forwarded on her sister Zoya's application, so Zoya began to attend Constance Billard. Unfortunately, Gossip Girl let the world know that the scholarship was not granted, it was gifted. And on top of that, Gossip Girl outed Nick's lie. Nick's mother did not live with them, so Nick and Zoya are at risk of being evicted. That leads us into the next section, the adults. When Season 1 began, Nick and Davis did not like each other. Nevertheless, Nick and Davis were forced to come together a few times since their daughters kept getting involved in drama. Nick and Davis both loved their daughters, and over time, they both began to love each other's daughters as their own. On top of that, Julian figured out that Davis was seeing Lola, so Julian may now have a mother figure. Similarly, Nick and Kate hit it off from the very first time that they met. So Nick invited Kate over to hand out candy during Halloween, and later, Kate tutored Zoya, and then she stayed after for an official date with Nick. Unfortunately, there were and are a couple big problems. First off, jealous Jordan. Jordan convinced Kate to send Nick a text saying that they should keep it professional. So for the time being, Kate has nipped their relationship in the bud. The second issue for Nick and Kate is that Kate was one of the Gossip Girlers. Gossip Girl stirred up a lot of drama for Nick's daughter Zoya as well as for Julian. In fact, Gossip Girl's very first post mocked their mother for having died before seeing her daughters reunited. So if, or rather, when Kate's involvement in Gossip Girl comes to light, Nick and Zoya are going to be hurt. They're going to feel betrayed. On that note, let's look back at 3 fan favorites, starting with Audrey. Audrey's mother, Catherine Hope, or Kiki, did not show up for the parent-student-teacher conference. Then, she showed up late to the fundraiser. When she was there, she got drunk and she made a scene. It turns out, Kiki's man left her for her assistant. She had to sell some businesses, and she would be filing for bankruptcy within the week. So basically, Kiki was hurting, and to make matters worse, she was hospitalized for an infection. Thankfully, she survived, and the silver lining was that all the friends came together for Audrey. Well, everyone except for Monet, who was no longer on Team Julian. Next up, Max. Max found out that his father Roy was on a dating app, so Max outed Roy to his father Gideon. And in a way, at least for the short term, it backfired. Roy had to move out. This hurt Max, so he went to Rafa's and slept over there on the couch. Nothing happened though. Rafa continued to deny Max due to their student-teacher relationship. However, Max then resorted to drugs. He skipped a week of school, and then Rafa wisely called Davis to remove Max's name from the birthday party invite list. Feeling as if there was nowhere else to go, Max went to Rafa's and kissed him, and Rafa kissed him back. Eventually, Max decided to end things with Rafa, and Rafa did not take that well at all. First, he blew up Max's phone non-stop, so Max blocked him. Then, Rafa sought revenge by giving the Gossip Girlers dirt on Max's drug addictions. That didn't really work, but when Gossip Girl posted about Max having STIs, Max had had enough. So he went over to Rafa's and turned him down once more, this time with a threat. Rafa then sunk to a new low. He began hitting on Max's father, Roy, and Max found out. So Max sent a video to Gossip Girl, a video of him and Rafa hopping on the good foot and doing the bad thing. Rafa saw that video and deleted it, but not before the other Gossip Girlers saw it. So this subplot ended with the Gossip Girls not knowing whether or not Rafa knew that they had seen the message or not. And obviously, that's not where Max's story ended. Now, let's layer in Aki. The season began with Audrey dating Aki. However, Audrey slept with Max, and Ak kissed Max. In an outburst during dinner, Audrey outed Aki as not being straight. Ak's annoying father, Roger Menzies, then outed Ak as being gay on national television. But Ak jumped in and clarified to the world that he was not gay. He was bi. The mid-season finale ended with Aki, Audrey, and Max having dinner. And then some dessert. Last but not least, let's discuss the big three. Julian Elizabeth Calloway, her sister Zoya Jane Lott, and their friend Otto Berman IV. Jules and Obi were a thing, but over time, Jules changed due to her focus on her image branding. As a result, their relationship changed. Then Zoya showed up, and Obi fell for her hard and fast. Obi broke up with Jules and asked Zoya out right away. Very classy. This caused a lot of drama at first, but Jules saw them at the supply shop and realized that they were happy together. So she was happy for them. Nonetheless, Jules still loved Obi, so she was hurt. Jules began to date around, then she resorted to partying. Neither of those outlets solved anything for her. Eventually, Jules realized that she didn't need a partner to be happy. She realized that she could stand on her own, and she did just so. While her ex-boyfriend and her sister became a thing, Jules was somehow able to work on herself. She stopped being influenced and became an influencer of change, initially around the topic of bullying. Meanwhile, the big city and all the events that she was part of began to change Zoya, and Obi didn't like that. So Obi and Zoya began to drift apart. They reconciled, but Zoya and Obi's mother didn't get along. So tensions brewed, and then the mid-season finale happened. Jules and Zoya both went to a rally. Jules got there first. When Zoya showed up, Jules admitted to her that she still loved Obi. So Zoya left. The rally got a little nuts, and Jules and Obi got caught up in the moment, and they kissed. So as we enter the second half of Season 1, there are a number of outstanding plot points. Monet is no longer on Team Julian. Jordan has come between Kate and Nick. Rafa has come between Max and his father Roy. Max sent a video of him and Rafa doing it to Gossip Girl. And now Max is in a polyamorous relationship with Audrey and Aki. Meanwhile, Zoya, Jules, and Obi are once again in a love triangle of their own. Nick and Zoya are at risk of eviction. And last but not least, Aki's father warned him to stay away from Jules for a little bit. In less than a week, we will find out what that means.